I'm Emma Stevens, and this is my capstone about the American printmaking technique, the white line color woodcut. It was invented in Provincetown, Massachusetts in 1915, but it's largely absent from history books because it was practiced primarily by women, many of them queer. This is a simple and inexpensive introductory printmaking technique, which is why I want to make it accessible to classrooms all around the country. As part of my research, I've been working with an industrial laser cutter to carve blocks in the hopes that I might be able to make it more streamlined for classroom use. My final outcome for this project is a book that details how to do the technique, teaching applications, the history, as well as my experimentations. I'll be translating this book into a website with free curriculum and materials to make it even more accessible. I've also gained a small following on TikTok within the past week.
While Post-it notes can contain a helpful message, the more time they spend on a wall, the less weight their message has. That's why I wanted to create a device that always has something new to say. The Self-Image Mirror is a product that shows people uplifting messages and healthy suggestions. It achieves this through a Raspberry Pi, running a custom-designed program made by my programmer, Taib. The mirror knows when someone is standing in front of it when the proximity sensor is tripped. The whole thing is being held by a custom frame that was designed and constructed by my mentor, Paul, and myself. It was great to see people interacting with my mirror and giving me some real feedback.
Do you think you can see stuff? Do you guys want to check it out?
All in all, the project was a hit, and it's been an honor learning through CCAD. Thank you for your time.
I started roller skating a little over a year ago when my friend Taylor introduced me through a project I was working on. As soon as my wheels hit the wood, I was in love. I was skating every weekend, and before I knew it, I was going 2 to 3 times a week. I started getting more involved in the community by skating with others, making friends, and learning new tricks. It felt like I unlocked this secret world of Columbus, and I want to share that with you. Midwest Roll is a digital campaign to help bring roller skate culture back into the light. Although this campaign will live mostly online, there will be merch that people will be able to buy so that way they can interact with the brand outside of the digital world. Through focusing on different skaters and skate groups, and also highlighting important moments from roller skate history, Midwest Roll will use exciting design and interesting information to get people excited about roller skating and the culture behind it. I'll roll with you later.
Think of middle school. Awkward, sweaty, gangly, naive, nervous, and so sweet. Trust me, I know. You're getting to know yourself, getting comfortable with your body, and wrestling with some pretty big feelings. Here's where sprinkling a little self-love comes in. Practicing self-love, even in simple ways and on hard days, can make a huge difference in the long run. Start in the process of being kind and patient with yourself, even when you think you've really messed up or you don't deserve it. Yes, even as early as in middle school, can set a positive thought pattern and help you thrive throughout your whole life. But wait, what is self-love? In the simplest terms, self-love is just being kind and caring for yourself in ways that make you feel good. Loving and taking care of yourself looks different for everyone. Here's where I come in. I wanted to create a whimsically illustrated guide to self-love for middle schoolers filled with everything you need to turn every day into a tiny self-love celebration. What was once a book full of color-coded sketches is now a finished, fully illustrated guide full of games, how-tos, and DIYs to sprinkle in a little fun, a simple and informative guide to feelings, planning, personal hygiene, meditation, journaling, and much more. Sprinkle, a guide to sprinkling a little self-love into every day.
The Great Bear makes her way to her den, the horizon. As she travels, she suddenly becomes aware of 3 hunters tracking her with their spears and arrows. Closer and closer, she draws to her den, the horizon, but before she makes it safely home, one of the hunters takes a shot, and it rings true. The Great Bear is struck in the back. As she continues to travel, trying to reach home, blood leaks out over the trees and horizon. and this is why the leaves turn red and orange in the fall. My project, Perspective, is an event, specifically an evening where people interested in space, mythologies, and other cultures can come and stargaze together. To lead up to the event, I'm creating an Instagram account that will have facts about Native American contributions to astronomy, as well as reminders to pre-register.
First of all, welcome to my senior thesis project. Who said 370? Does anyone know, using their apps, where the Big Dipper is? And as far as Native American tribes, the Onondaga, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Zuni, and some Eskimo tribes also saw the Big Dipper as a bear. The first story about Cassiopeia comes from a tribe called the Quileute. Thank you all.
Daily dabbling. It's not a new concept, but one often overlooked. Practicing something every day can seem quite intimidating at first. It's already hard enough starting one new activity on its own. The thought came to me when, like everyone else, I was sitting in my living room during lockdown. I felt bored and unproductive, and pretty much everyone felt similarly at one point or another. And whether it was taking a crack at baking some sourdough, picking up painting, or learning how to camp outdoors, creatively thinking through a new hobby or task helped distract us from the ongoing pandemic. This kind of thinking is not only fun, but can be a really helpful tool in keeping your mind healthy. Keeping your brain active by thinking outside the box can have lots of benefits, such as increased motivation or even lowering the risk of Alzheimer's.
Hi, I'm Max Adams, and this is Spaceman. As a Christian, I found that the most important thing in life is to tell people about the gospel, that Christ died for our sins. Unfortunately for myself, I've always struggled with this. Either it's too awkward to talk about, or people just are not interested. The full name of my project is Spaceman, for those not from here. Spaceman refers to alien, or more than human, and according to the gospel, Christ was a man. However, he's still God. Therefore, Spaceman. To be not from here means that you follow Christ. My inspiration for the name and the project comes from the passage in John 17:16, where Christ, when he's praying for his followers, says, "They are not of this world, as I am not from it." I'm making 4 posters based on the Bible Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. When prompted, the audience will then be asked to scan a poster, where then they will be directed to an augmented reality scene which displays a miracle Jesus did in the gospel that they scanned. Christ and his followers aren't from here. Are you?
Okay, so we start. What places you have been and recommend to other people, or what places you traveled, or.
All right, so I would recommend to go Hualien. Hualien City is there's a national park called Tailuge. The Tailuge National Park is the park. It's national park that full of the nature view, like a rock. Like a big rock there. It's like a Grand Canyon in America. It's like a Grand Canyon in Taiwan, but it's not that massive style. But also, the view there is, it's the first place I would recommend if you go to Taiwan.
Welcome to Harmony.com. When you visit the website, this is what you'll see. At the top of the interface, you'll notice a search bar prompting users to search for a specific art or music. Below displays an example of a connection between a piece of music and a piece of art generated by the website. I personally like the song I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers, so I'm going to like it. I like the Scream too, but I've seen it many times before, and maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for something new that I've never seen before. So I'm going to refresh the art and view and look at something different. Bad Reputation by Joan Jett equals Judith beheading Holofernes by Artemisia Gentileschi. I love this painting, by the way.
Sometimes it's hard to accept things. Sometimes we choose not to accept things. And sometimes we end up hurting the ones we love because we want to be alone, because we don't want help. For a long time, I harbored feelings about my parents' divorce and their separation. On top of moving from North Carolina to Ohio, it was a really hard time for me to make friends. Overall, I was just in a really bad headspace. So I want teenagers who are like-minded like me to learn from my mistakes. I want people to learn from the mistakes that I made. And so I created Pinnacle. When you tell a story, the adventure is up to you. As the author of the story, you have the power to tell your story however you want. Making stories was an easy way to creatively imagine things that I knew couldn't happen in real life. Divorce, family separation, things that are truly traumatic, it becomes hard to have that face-to-face interaction and tell someone, like, this is how I feel. Combining storytelling and then thinking of ways to create non-face-to-face interactions led me to building an interactive story experience that can help teens help them find a path forward.
Brushfoot's goal in its most basic form is an idea that encourages people to get outside and into nature while simultaneously working to fill the holes in our understanding of butterflies as a species in both a fun and interactive way. To achieve this, Brushfoot offers a mobile app which people can use to scan butterflies they encounter when going about their daily lives. In addition, the Brushfoot mobile app also allows users to share their own sightings with their friends and family, as well as see what other users of the app have discovered so far, enabling interaction amongst users of the app, further development of a Brushfoot community, as well as helping to fill in the holes in our understanding of butterflies. If you ever are up on an early Saturday morning, I highly encourage you to get out and go to your nearest metro or state park. It is truly amazing how satisfying it is when you see a butterfly you have never seen before. The sensation of encountering something genuinely new for the first time can be truly electrifying, because even if you see a butterfly you've already seen before, that moment in of itself can become a truly unique memory, one which is sure to last for years to come.
So in like traditional Asian families, our parents have this like predetermined paths for us, saying that we have to be a doctor or a lawyer, and they always tell us that that's the only thing we can do in our lives ever since we're kids. And that just creates like these expectations that no one wants, and it makes us believe that it's the only way that we can succeed in life. I decided to create Lunar Guide, a deck of tarot cards inspired by Asian culture, Asian American struggles, and all of that good stuff. And the reason why I decided to create tarot cards is because I want my deck of tarot cards to tell a story about self-realization and what you should do with your life and what you can control, and just like general life advice about like what to do with yourself, how to grow, and how to leave that cage and pressure that we feel from our Asian parents. So I plan on showcasing my tarot cards and doing readings on TikTok, a social media platform that's mostly like video based, and the videos are generally 15 to 60 seconds long. And with the right hashtags, your video will get to people. So I plan on using hashtags like tarot, tarot readings, Asian, Asian American to reach to my audience. Here's a TikTok if anyone's interested in following. It's at Lunar Guide.